Hello, welcome. Thank you for being here today. I'm Sarah Frazzini, Benco's Executive Director.
And I'm Misty Sorte, Benco's Director of People. Thank you so much for joining us for our second in the learning series, specifically focusing on Benco's drug and alcohol policy. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about alcohol.
We're going to start with the definition of alcohol. Alcohol includes any beverage or substance containing alcohol. This includes ethanol, isopropanol, and methanol. The words ethanol and alcohol are not interchangeable. To put it simply, ethanol is the only type of alcohol that is safe to drink. Ethanol is also called ethyl alcohol or grain alcohol. All ethanol is alcohol, but not all alcohol is ethanol. So aside from ethanol, the two other common types of alcohol that are commonly seen are methyl alcohol and isopropyl alcohol. Methanol is a lab solvent, fuel additive, and antifreeze. Like other types of alcohol, it readily absorbs through the skin. Methanol is dangerously toxic and it can cause nervous system and organ damage. Isopropyl alcohol is used as a rubbing alcohol and it does occur in some hand sanitizer products. It quickly evaporates from the skin, producing a cooling sensation. Isopropyl alcohol is not as toxic as methanol, so it is approved for use on the skin. However, isopropyl alcohol is not safe to drink. The initial effects of drinking ethanol, isopropanol, or methanol are all similar, but ethanol is reasonably safe to drink. And then only if it is denatured, if it isn't denatured or contaminated. Additional information on alcohol is available in a resource that we'll provide in a link along with this video. So if you want to check out more information in regards to alcohol and what is reasonably safe to drink and what isn't safe to drink, feel free to look at that resource.
Thank you. Sarah and I felt like it was important to include some outside resources that we use to help provide guidance for the Benco drug and alcohol policy and other policies in our handbook. OSHA provides guidance for businesses such as ours. And so you can look on the OSHA website for additional guidance and information on alcohol and what employers look for and some of the guidance that we used. Specifically, I want to say that this comes directly from the website. The use of intoxicating liquor on the job is strictly prohibited. Anyone whose ability to work safely is whose ability to work safely is impaired by alcohol or drugs or medications must not be allowed on the job while in that condition. So we use some of our language from our guidelines directly came from the website. And it also provides additional information that employers must take all reasonable means to require employees to work safely and to conduct themselves in a manner that is in compliance with health and safety rules, regulations.
Okay. The consumption of alcohol, if you are over the age of 21, is allowable outside of work hours. It is legal, to consume alcohol outside of work hours. And that would be in alignment with our policy as long as the employee is drinking reasonably and responsibly, which we'll get into as we move through the slides. But the consumption of alcohol during work hours is prohibited. So we want to talk a little bit more about kind of differences between different types of alcohol. And as you can see, in the graphic here, let's see, I'm actually going to move our faces a little bit. There we go. So as you can see in the graphic here, different types of alcohol are going to have a different percentage of alcohol, and the size and quantity will also determine how much alcohol is within that particular drink that might be consumed. How much, how fast, and how often a person drinks alcohol all factor into the risk for alcohol-related problems and the level of impairment. How much and how fast a person drinks influences how much alcohol enters into the bloodstream, how impaired he or she they become, and what the related acute risks will be. So while there is no guaranteed safe amount of alcohol for anyone, general guidelines can help clinicians, your physician, advise you, their patients, and minimize the risks of alcohol-related problems. Ultimately, it is the employee's responsibility to discuss alcohol consumption and really be able to evaluate how alcohol impacts their functioning with their clinician, with their medical provider, primary care physician, whoever you see for most of your medical needs. When you're talking with your physician, have an open conversation and discuss, consumption habits, drink sizes, drinking patterns, and how alcohol metabolism impacts you. This will really help you to identify what is reasonable and what is responsible. Ultimately, when we're thinking about Benco expectations being in alignment with our Benco policy, the high level of responsibility that you have at work, we want to highlight and really put that reminder out there that any impairment of the safe and efficient performance of duties caused by alcohol consumption that is observed on duty will be considered reasonable suspicion. So that would be what would trigger reasonable suspicion testing. It's also important to note that Benco includes a few other definitions within our policy that I want to highlight here. So the first is the definition for under the influence. Under the influence means having any detectable level of drug or alcohol in the system, including but not limited to blood, oral fluids, and urine. It also includes having consumed alcohol or drugs so recently that there is reasonable possibility of impairment to the safe and efficient functioning. On duty is the other definition that I want to highlight. On duty includes any scheduled work time, breaks, rest, or meal periods taken during the work day or night, as well as time on the Benco premises preparing for work, waiting to start work or being assigned to work, or time after work that you're on the premises and preparing to leave. On duty also includes any time that you have been identified as representing Benco. Benco's expectation really is whether you're at work or outside of work, that you are a representative of Benco, that your actions outside of work do not negatively impact the reputation of our organization or call into question your ability to safely care for people in our services. Again, because alcohol is legal to drink, if you are over the age of 21, employees may choose to drink alcohol outside of work hours when they're off duty. But really, we want employees to evaluate what is reasonable and what is responsible based on your own metabolism and how your body responds to alcohol consumption.
So, in talking a little bit more about kind of representing Benco and how your actions can impact Benco even when you're off duty, Benco's motor vehicle operations and safety policy is a really good example of how your actions off hours can impact your ability to show up or damage the reputation of Benco. It's the expectation of Benco that our staff are acting responsibly both on and off the clock. As a business, Benco has a responsibility to ensure safe operations of equipment and that employees are able to function appropriately to do their job. As drivers of company vehicles, staff must meet minimum thresholds set by our insurance company in order to provide to qualify for coverage. If you are off the clock and have a motor vehicle accident where drugs or alcohol are involved, it's your responsibility and our expectation that you notify the Benco HR team and your supervisor as soon as possible. This is a great opportunity to point out that my schedule is completely flexible and I am available outside of typical work hours. So whether it's in the evening or on a weekend, you are still able to contact me as part of the HR team to report these accidents. And I just want to pause a moment and and just highlight the fact that the Benco motor vehicle operations policy is on our website and available to each employee at all of our programs in the policy binders. So anytime you have a question, please feel free to pull out those binders.
Okay. Um, Focusing on kind of on-duty time, we do want to provide some education around signs of impairment. It is important to note that not any one of these signs means that an employee is under the influence of alcohol when they're at work. It doesn't mean that an employee is an alcoholic. However, when there are performance and conduct problems coupled with any number of these signs, or maybe there are multiple signs, specifically the smell of alcohol, coupled with additional signs of impairment, that's really when you need to report it to your supervisor and or the HR team. We want that reporting to happen, as you're observing these signs and symptoms. We need to make sure that employees are able to perform their job duties in a safe and responsible way when they are at work. And so, if you are seeing signs of impairment, such as the smell of alcohol, staggering or unsteady gait, bloodshot eyes, again, the smell of alcohol on the breath, mood and behavior changes, such as excessive laughter or inappropriately loud talk, excessive use of mouthwash or breath mints, avoidance of supervisory contact, especially after lunch or a break, tremors, sleeping while on duty when it's not a designated asleep overnight. Those are all, those signs that there is something more going on, and contacting the supervisor and or contacting Misty will initiate support in being able to determine what those next steps would be for that employee who is showing some of those concerns that are being observed. So again, if it's after hours or your supervisor is not on site, this signs of impairment would be a trigger for you to contact your supervisor. And if you cannot get a hold of your supervisor, then directly reaching out to Misty. Her phone number is on the phone list at each program, and whatever time frame that might be, reaching out to her as a resource and support in these circumstances is really what the expectation is.
So we really want to call out that not everyone who drinks alcohol has need of recovery support. But if you do feel that you're drinking excessively or that it is impacting your ability to work or you need support, please reach out to the HR team or anyone in the admin building. At Benco, we value employee well-being, and excessive drinking can impact your judgment and your health. We want to support you and make sure that you feel that if you are in need of assistance, we can help evaluate your choices and help determine how that impacts your job performance. If you determine you do have a substance abuse issue, we're here to help you with resources and referrals. Because each person's path to recovery looks different, we don't have a one size fits all plan. Suzanne and I can help meet with you to provide a complete list of resources and services to meet your individual needs. It is also important to note that when a person stops drinking who's been a longtime regular consumer of alcohol or drugs, there could be withdrawal symptoms that also might impact your ability to work. So that should be taken into consideration, and please loop in your healthcare provider in those kind of conversations. While it is the expectation of Benco that staff do not use drugs or alcohol while on the clock, we are working to ensure that staff are treated with dignity, respect, and free of any sort of judgment. Please reach out to Suzanne or myself, or Sarah or Laura for any additional support or guidance on this issue. We also have the Benco's EAP program, which comes with the TELUS Health One app, available to all staff. Through this app, employees can access a variety of wellness support, including help with addiction and recovery. Again, this is a benefit that is available to all staff, not just in those who hold our insurance. So please reach out with any questions and concerns that you might have.
In addition to that, I do also want to point out within the personnel manual, you will find policies on non-discrimination, non-retaliation. Really, we value communication. We value employees identifying, that there are resources that would be beneficial for them, and providing kind of a robust support for our employees. There's no wrong person to talk to when it comes to, the team of directors here at the Benco Administrative Office. Of course, Laura being the residential director for our program coordinators, direct supervisor, she's going to be the most likely person who the PC is going to talk to in regards to some of their own things that they have going on, their own questions that they have going on. Misty, our director of people, is really that resource for all of our staff, all of our employees, to be able to reach out to her for connection to resources, coaching, just a listening ear and a person to talk to for a variety of different things, including support and understanding, how things that you're doing in your personal life fit into Benco's drug and alcohol policy and areas where you might need some support and help. Suzanne, as our personnel director, really is the one who is the expert on our policies and helping employees to understand their benefits and their rights, and also ensuring that as a business we're following the practices that we need to adhere to. And then myself as the executive director, kind of overseeing the overarching organization. My door is always open, and I'm always willing and interested in setting up times to check in with staff, whether it's here at the office or meeting out in the community. All four of us are willing to set aside that time and really invest in hearing what's important to you and talking through whatever your needs might be. So please feel open and free to reach out to any one of the four of us if you do need, support of any kind, or if you do have additional questions. After this, the 5-part learning series is finished, Benco will have an FAQ that comes out as a result of all of the questions that have come in regarding our drug and alcohol policy, that will go out to all of our employees and also be posted on our website. Thank you so much for joining us today, and we'll see you again soon.
Thank you.